Beginning in 2018, as I realized that the end of the time for my dog drew near, I started kneeling by the couch each morning before I left for work to pray and to think. I did this so that I could be near him and pet him while I prayed. And I have made it a daily, well, almost daily, at least when I go to work, habit that I believe has made a great difference in my life. One of the most important things about this is that I don't just pray to pray. I've been praying in my car on the way to work almost every day for the last 10 years. I pray and I thank God for my cars and my dogs, and I've been doing that at least every day on the way to work for the last 10 years. But kneeling is a little bit different. Kneeling implies a different behavior, a different attitude, and a different inclination towards the individual to whom you pray. Now, naturally, I don't close my eyes and kneel in the car, because to drive a car that way would be inadvisable and dangerous. And so I believe it's important to sometimes take the time to kneel when you pray. I like the work days for this reason. I like the fact that before I go out the door, I kneel down and I begin my day with prayer. And I've been up by then for about 3 hours. I've exercised, walked the dog, had breakfast, showered, shaved, and dressed for the day. But before I do anything that is not about my simple physical maintenance and the maintenance of my canine companion, I invoke the blessings of the Master into my life. I think people take prayer and religion a little bit too casually anymore. Most people don't pray, or at least they don't pray out loud. When they do pray, they pray to be seen of men, and they pray and pound their chests and stand on pulpits and wish to be noticed and rewarded and accoladed for their piety. And I realize in sharing this with you, I'm broadcasting that this is something that I do, but I'm not doing it for that reason when I kneel down in the living room. The first thing, of course, I do is I thank the Lord for protecting my house, my dog, the things that I have, for giving me a place of refuge in a troubled world. And before I go out into the troubled world, I invite him to come and be with me and watch over the things that are important to me, because I would like to see the dog again at the end of the day when I get home. In truth, for the most part, this prayer has gone answered, and it has been protected. In 2015, 2 kids tried to kick in my front door. I was also mugged that year. In 2021, somebody hit my car in the driveway and pushed it through the garage door. And then last September, somehow a fire got started next to my house, and there was some interruption in my normal routine. But those are the only things that have happened in all those years, and I'm very, very lucky, very, very grateful, and very, very blessed. And so, despite the fact that 4 things have happened, I do consider that to be a prayer that has been answered. And I have to wonder sometimes if it's because I knelt. There is a difference between those who lift up their hands and their heads, and those who bow their eyes. We know, as we read about Jesus, he talks about the rich man and Lazarus, and the rich man who lifted his arms and bragged about his goodness, and the Lazarus who thumped his chest and said, "Lord, forgive me, I'm a sinner." And I think part of it is your attitude. I don't think that righteous people feel comfortable standing, and I don't think that wicked people are interested in kneeling. So take it maybe as a litmus test on your own spiritual status, on your own state of grace, about how often you kneel, how often you pray, and whether you kneel at all when you pray. And the next time you do consider praying, consider kneeling, even if just for a moment. I know that depending on where you kneel, it can be very inconvenient, which is why I kneel next to the couch. But I think sometimes it's important to remember our position, and that of that being to whom we pray. Pray often, pray daily, pray. I pray that you are happy, healthy, and have joy in your lives. Godspeed, and take care.